everybody. So today is day 19 and it's inspired by a photograph. So I know Rachel and Sarah both did photographs they've taken of places that they were, and I had lots of those, but most of mine are digital files. And as I've been going through photos, my old photos, I found a whole lot that were about my girls. And I thought that I picked out two for this reason. Lily's very beautiful and vivacious and colourful and larger than life at times, and this is her in party mode, being, happy and funny when she was little. And I picked this one about Liz because she still loves being in nature, loves the gardens, loves the trees, and just gets in her own zone with it. And that's really beautiful too. So they're both beautiful girls, and I've had lots of enjoyment bringing them up and being I was mostly a stay-at-home mum with them, especially, till their teenage years. So I'd like to do that for today, because that's a nice memory from a photograph or photographs. Now that I'm doing a bit of sewing, don't laugh, I got a bit of this, and I've sewn a border. I don't know if you can see it. It's just very light, but it'll stop the fraying from going any further. So I thought I would fray a bit out of these edges. I actually, funnily enough, I found a photo of me sitting up in bed with the girls on either side of me, and I guess just trying to work out, maybe Liz was maybe 9 and Lily was maybe 7, something like that. And it must have been winter because I've got a very daggy, stripy woolen cap on, because, in your own home you don't care. And, well, sometimes I don't care generally about what people think about what I'm wearing. But they were on either side of me, and they were looking at me, and I was showing them how to cut out hexagons and make like beehive quilting. I had a whole heap of different material cut out, and I thought, isn't it amazing what we forget? I forgot that I did that. I forgot how, I know that in general I spent a lot of time with the girls, making sure we did as much art and craft and dress-ups and all of that sort of stuff, and a lot of play when they weren't at school, weekends and school holidays. And that one time I've mentioned in a previous video when I disappeared from Melbourne and went up to Queensland for a good month or two, or I don't know how long it was, at least 6 weeks, and we had an extended drive home school holiday. Don't know what happened, just was fed up with things, and I don't know what those things were, but I was fed up. Anyway, I'd forgotten that I actually had shown them how to quilt, and that I had all those bits of material cut out ready to go. So there you go. That's a little memory. And I had, with this photograph, I remember that we went for a walk. It was autumny, wintry time, and the leaves had all come off the trees, and we had we lived in Rosanna, so we lived near the Rosanna parklands, and they're massive parklands with lots of huge walking areas, like beautiful space, huge walking areas, huge like football grounds, and tennis courts, even things I didn't sort of know were there even at the time, but found out a bit later that they actually even had a baseball or softball. Can't remember if it was baseball or softball, or whether they're just both the same. I think they're both the same, maybe. team would practice on like on a Sunday morning. I didn't even know that was happening. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant again, as per usual. So I've got these little what do you call them? The photos for those instant photos. These little frames. The original Instagram there. I got these off. I think they were a freebie from Nick the Booksmith. Maybe. I think. I also thought I found, as part of going through the photos, I found some old film. Now it's just, I think these ones in particular, I looked at them and there's one or two photos of Mum in there, but this must have been when she was on holiday, and so most of them are just pictures of the sea, the ocean. My mum loves the beach as well as me. And so I'm just going to, now I don't know why I want to put them this way. Do you put it that way because she's older than that one, or like what? Or that way? I think I'll do that because Liz is older, so maybe she can be on the left. Now I probably am off camera there. I have I can cut it a bit smaller than this line just inside, or I can cut it exact. So I'm thinking I might try and cut it exact. I'll just put a new one of these in, and this is the original one, which is really good. And I ordered some online, and this is just really stiff because it's not actually the right one for there. So take it out. No, I'm not. It won't come out. This one was blunt. All right, let's give it a go. Could be disastrous. No, it wasn't. Oh, look, I'm not going to trust it. It sort of got a bit wrecked once I had done that. I'm going to use my cutting mat. I trust my knife and my steel edge, as we used to call it when I was imprinting. I'll mess that up. I might get another one out. Okay. When I was working in printing, that was my trade, we called them steel edges, steel edge. And I've said it before on another thing, the reason you put masking tape or gaffer tape on the back is to stop that slip that can happen. Just gives it a bit more grip. I feel like I've got a bit more control of it. So I've been using these for, how old am I? I've been using these for quite a while. Let me see. I started my apprenticeship when I was 17. Yeah, my apprenticeship was with the in a printing factory as what was then called a graphic reproductionist, which was someone who took photos of artwork, made plates from those photos. It was a long time ago, yes. And then the plates got put onto the printing drums, and then they were printed. So part of our job was compositing type and photos so that they were ready to go in a to make books. Really, that was the start. My dad worked there originally, so he was a plate maker by trade, and that's why I got into it. I think we sort of just had the same passion, the same love. We had to sometimes, if it was just a book with just text or typeface, we would have to, I'd have to explain it. Just, where's a bit of black? Right, so imagine this is your film, and there's the text, but it's not like white with black type. It's a black negative with white type, but sometimes there'd be little spots and holes. Part of my apprenticeship was to paint out all those little spots and holes. Do you think that was boring for a after week 5? I was still doing it 4 years later at the end of my apprenticeship, because we were what was called a black and white house, black and white place. So it was a lot of novels back in the day, and there, we'd often get to take home one that had been cut wrong on the guillotine or something like that to have a read of it. And oops, don't need that much up there. There it is. I'll put that up there. Like that. And we did books like Erica Jong's The Fear of Flying and Wilbur Smith books. And that was kind of really, that was about it. That was what we did. Here we go. I thought that I didn't want to just put these down like this. I wanted to incorporate maybe some of the film along with, how about that? All right, I'm going to do that. Let me stick it first. Get a new page. So that was what I worked in that. I worked doing that for a long time. Like I did the 4-year apprenticeship, and then I changed because he who shall be not be named, the first husband, I met him there, and he was abusive, and I don't need to talk about that. but I left and went to work somewhere else, and yeah, it was it was a colour place, so I went to learn. I shouldn't give my personal details, that sort of distracted me for a minute. Anyway, I left the black and white place because I got sick of painting dots, and I went to a colour place where I wanted to learn how to improve my art, my craft. And I went and worked a fair way away, and that was good. I liked it there. That was really good. My second husband. Too much personal information again, but anyway, that was a good old journey there, and that was fun. And there we, because it was a colour house, not a black and white house, we learnt how to, well, I learnt how to do colour covers of magazines and how to put them together and stuff. So that was really great. And then it got, well, we got married, moved into a nice house, built a house together, and then it got very computery. It wasn't like this sort of hands-on stuff anymore. It was all like computer scanning and digital, and that's all very fine, and I don't mind that, and I like it now, but at the time I did not want to just sit on a computer all day every day after I'd been hands-on, you know, with crafting and stuff, so it wasn't kind of working for me. I'll keep putting this on the right. Why is it so? I don't know that it really matters. Anyway, that's right. I want to put a bit of, found some of this. So it's very crinkly, but you know what I liked? I liked this edge because it was the end of the roll of, and I'm segueing again, yet again, I'm segueing out of my topic and moving to a completely different topic. That segue is that this was, instead of clear, was it baking paper? They started selling this, what's called like raw. They're selling it as raw. Well, it's just brown, not white, so it's not bleached or something like that. But I really love the edge, so I decided I wanted to put this in here somewhere. Doesn't relate to anything other than the fact that I used to enjoy baking with the girls. Yes, so anyway, went to the colour place, went to work in the printing place that was colour, and I learnt more about that. But then there was a point where I didn't actually know if I didn't know if I was good at it. I don't know. There was something about it that I was just being called to do something else, and I left, and I was still with that husband. But I left and I went and I worked. I didn't work. I went back to school. I went back to school and studied music. And that was the end of me in the printing industry. And I always said the problem with it was exactly that it was, it went digital. Now it's funny because I'm fine with digital. I've come to accept it and I get it and I know how it works and I'm okay with it. I am just going to do this behind there only. I didn't end up liking it across that back. Went off, studied music, joined a band, had my own band, blah, blah, blah. That's another story for another day, actually, I reckon. Met the girl's father, and that was the end of that story, because that meant that was just like, then we were together for 17 years. There you go. More personal information. Stop it, Christina. Stop telling everyone everything. You know, I'm an open book. I don't really care. I've got nothing much to hide, you know. If someone's going to be horrible and use that information against me, it's like their problem. Their problem for not being nice, people. Okay. The amount of waffling I do on these videos is astonishing. Not even going to glue that because this will be stuck down. I reckon it needs still something else behind it. I wonder what. I was going to use this. I die cut that. But then I realised they should have one each because they're queens. And I didn't have... it's the wrong size. I think it's the wrong size. There. Queens. Both queens. Both queens of the modern era, these two. Oh, don't know how to make that work. I wanted it in there. What if it's there, and there, and there, and it's like just, well, it could actually be down further just as a pattern. I know it's a crown. I know it looks like a crown and they're queens. Alright, I think I like that, but I still think I'd like something to tie it together. What about this stuff I used the other day? This was pretty good stuff. Got it at Spotlight. It's, you know, you can rip it and make ties with it and stuff, but it also can be just flat as well. Let's see how it looks. Am I out of frame when I'm doing that? Probably. Yeah. About that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. On an angle or straight. Well, these are already on an angle, so we don't need everything on an angle, do we? Let's see if we can put it straight. What happens if I put it straight? It shows me that it's not straight. Where's the middle? Okay, that's the middle. That's going to be all right to put that down. Let's see how it looks. There, bring them a bit closer. They can be, oh, that came off. That was misbehaving, wasn't it? Stay there. Okay. There, my beautiful daughters who are queens. I like that. I'm going to glue that purple down. It doesn't matter that it's a bit crooked there because it's not even going to show. So let's do half at a time of this so as we open it. Come on. Hello. Corners. nice. Get the middle roughly. Now this might be a tricky one to glue down. I think if I do a line along here and get that bottom bit down where I want it to be. Oops. Oh. See that if any glue gets on it, it takes the colour off. Hopefully that bit's going to be... Alright, I'm just going to do little dobs then, because I don't want a little dob, and then hope that the rest sticks down underneath these. So I'll secure these a bit better than that, so that they hold it down, and I'm just going to cover those bits. Yep. Ooh, okay. So I hope everyone's going well. I kind of know that the rest of the world's been a lot worse off than us here in Australia. I'm just like, I haven't done anything majorly different than I would normally do, other than not seeing family for birthdays, because in previous things I've talked about, there's quite a few of us at risk in my family, and extended family. So I kind of have had the odd day of being bored, etc. But you know, that's normal when you just do this stuff all day, every day anyway. You're going to have days like that anyway. So it really hasn't been too different. And I just have decided to kind of buy out of it, really. Like, okay, yeah, that was going on, that's happening, okay. I've got toilet paper, I'm fine. I do feel bad about any people who have died as a result of it, especially being alone, that's terrible, and especially without family, that's also terrible. But in general, I feel a bit, I don't know, I feel a bit immune to it all. Like, it's just something that's happening off over there. That's not, I'm not meaning at all to be callous about that. I'm just like, I think it's part of being in Australia. We're just further away, and so it hasn't been as mega as anywhere else. So Lily, who's in Queensland, they're lifting the quarantine this Saturday to give it a go, with letting them drive 50k away from home, getting out and about, you know, non-essential shopping's allowed now, starting Saturday in Queensland. So I just actually... I don't think here in Australia, I think it's just a matter of time before we're sort of out of the thing. All right. And then Lily's going to come visit. Even though I've missed their birthdays, they will have missed Mother's Day. She might be here for my birthday if she comes late enough and stays long enough. I don't think she will, though. That's a long time. Okay, so that's it for me for day 19, inspired by a photograph, but in my case, because I can't do anything the way anyone else does it, by 2 photographs. And I'm okay with that. And let me just... Lily? Nicaea. There. I'm done. Okay, I am done now. Hope you enjoyed my ranting about my past jobs, and have a good day, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.